Well, here we are. Callie and I, you can see Callie's right here, are in the car waiting for Bob to put the lamp things down and turn off the circuit breakers need to be off. He gets so panicky and OCD-ish. You know, I just got to kind of let him do his thing. I think we got everything, gosh. And I always have to convince myself, if you don't have everything, you can always pick something up if you have to. Okay, now he's going to lock the shed. We're leaving an hour later than we had planned because after he took a shower and came out at 8 o'clock, I was awake, starting to get ready. He goes, if you want to take it easy for a little while, longer you can, because we're not seeing Michelle till tomorrow. So we thought we were going to get with her tonight, but we're not. So we don't have to leave as early. So here we go. It's 10:56. And we should be up at the hotel, I'd say, by about 4:30. So, what's he going to do now? Go back and check the shed again? See what I mean? Well, they just didn't. Hey, hon? Did you pick up the mat that was in this bathtub?
No.
And hang it over the edge of the tub? I thought of something. He was going back in anyway. Check it again. You know. We're both a little OCD-ish. So we can't get flustered with each other, even though I do. But put this on. Oh, somebody the other day said, why isn't Grandma wearing her seatbelt? I was. It's just this belt locks. So I usually put my elbow through it and hold it right there. Otherwise, it's just so, tight against her. But it's there. If we got in an accident, it's going to tighten and break my arm. Okay, well, Bobby. And what's cute is he's trying to tell me what to do to certain things that I've been taking care of for years. Oh, here he comes. I should say, now you sure the door's locked? You sure the door's locked and the front door?
Yeah.
Okay. Back to the shed. Okay, it's locked. Okay, so he's getting in the car. We're going to take off, and I'll come back on when there's anything to talk about. Okay? Well, it's 15 after 11. And we lost about 10 minutes because when we got on the freeway, they had the one lane all closed off because they're working on it. And the exit we needed was closed off. Luckily, we know our way around, so we had to go an extra couple of miles down the freeway, get off Foothill, and come back around this way. So Bob is running in to get our little donuts that is kind of customary that we eat. There has not been a sound from Miss Callie yet. You doing okay, hon? Callie? You okay? So, he's getting himself some water. He doesn't drink much when we're driving because it's harder. This way we're going is harder to find restrooms, and his bladder doesn't hold a whole lot. So, yeah, whereas mine does. As long as I don't sit up, I stay seated now. TMI. So anyway, I have a feeling we may run into some road work down at on 95 when we get back on it. So here comes my man carrying his little bag of little donut holes and his water. So I'll come back on later. So the gas is $3.79 at this station. At the station that we usually get gas, it's $3.69. So that's what the gas is right now here in Arizona, Yuma, Arizona.
That's the cheapest we'll see.
Oh, and it's 87 degrees out. There's a cloud cover today, so it's making it feel real humid. So we'll see if it warms. I don't think it's going to get warmer the more we get toward Vegas, is it? Nah, I'll come back later. Well, it's check-in time. It's just about 12:30, so we've been on the road an hour and a half. And you can hear, I think you can hear Miss Callie giving her 2 cents worth right now. And she's been letting us know that she is back there every once in a while. So we are coming up to the town of Quartzsite, Nevada, and we will be crossing over Interstate 10. I mean Arizona, sorry. Quartzsite, Arizona. We're crossing over Interstate 10, and we just passed by the areas known for the boondockers, but pretty empty right now because most of the snowbirds have headed back up north to wherever they came from. So, this is a little town. It's more or less a place where you can stop along the road, to use the facilities. Like go to McDonald's or get gas. Just a quick little town. It's got a Love's truck stop. And here on either side of me is where they hold the big, I don't know, what you call that, an RV and gem show, or what is that? Once a year when the people come up and they got all kinds of things being sold by vendors. And like I mentioned, Callie, she did let us know that she is still alive back there a while back. It was cute because we had a couple of dips in the road, very smooth dips, but she felt them and said something. So, I don't know what the gas is yet here. Okay, now we're coming up over the freeway. See, it's not a whole lot to the town. This is more or less mainly a snowbird destination for people who don't mind being out where there's not much of anything else to do. So our next check-in point will be Parker, and that's about 30 miles down the road. So I'll come back in and check in with you then. Well, 30 boring minutes later, we're coming into Parker, Arizona. I say boring because there is just nothing to see along the drive between Quartzsite and Parker. But now we've come into the little town. It is 1 o'clock, so we're gonna take a little side trip off this highway and go see if we can find us a little bit of lunch. Of course, we got to do a drive-through because we have Miss Callie in here. And the temperature has changed. It is now, honey, what is it? 92 degrees. Thank God we got our air conditioning fixed. It had gone out while we've been down in Yuma. Oh, looks like we got a McDonald's up to the right up here, honey. Yeah, he knows. He comes up here to golf every once in a while. I don't, so I'm just not as familiar. There's an old train sitting there. Train car. These people stopped.
White.
Oh is there a light way up there? Still seems kind of weird not being in the motorhome, but you know, I have more legroom in the car than I did in the motorhome, sitting in the passenger seat. And I can't help but look around at RV parks as we pass them. Now the gas that was up in Quartzsite, what was that, $3.79, honey? Yeah, that was $3.79. I see here's a Shell here that is $4.69.
Nobody's at it either.
And nobody's there either. I wonder why. Yeah, normally we would go straight, but we'll come back to this road and continue on. But if we turned right and kept going, we would get into Lake Havasu.
439.
What's 439?
I guess. Here.
Oh, yeah, 439 at the Chevron and 449 for diesel. A Chevron on both sides of the road here,
389 up there.
both corners.
We have Burger King or McDonald's.
Oh, McDonald's, I know I can get hash brown if they're still serving them. How far up ahead is it?
Oh, wait, not far.
Now, I have not been through this part of town for years. I can't remember the last time I came up through here. But there is a golf course up here that Bob and some of his buddies down in Yuma take a day to come up to and golf every once in a while. Oh, there's that McDonald's. So I'm going to turn you off for a minute and
Jack in the Box. McDonald's talk.
come back on when we start hitting back the other direction. And we finished our lunch and we're back on the road. We're back over to the highway we got off of. I like to have it on during through Parker to see the bridge. You know, it's the most exciting thing so far to see. Direction I'm turning. There we go. So you can see the bridge better. There it is over there. It is going over the Colorado River.
Into California.
Into California for a little while. Here we go. Ooh, we're in California.
We get up here.
When we get up here, make the turn. We go under the bridge. Construction going on everywhere we've driven today. Now, if we were to turn right here, we'd be heading towards, Lake Havasu direction. But gotta really be careful because there's a lot of donkeys in that area. Don't want to hit one. Okay, here we go. Here's the welcome to California. Now, if we were in the motorhome, we would have to be driving 55 miles per hour. Wherever the speed limit is, we would have been towing our car. I'm still munching on stuff. That's why. Okay, I'll let you go again. And come back on when there's something else to see. Now here's a pretty part of the drive. Going through these little bit of mountains here. So I'll just put this on, leave it on for a while. I don't really have much to say during it, but maybe if I can turn it bigger. Bumpy here. It's swiveling. Okay, we had a little bit of excitement. Callie went boo-boo. And we didn't put a litter box in there because I figured she wouldn't use it until we get to a hotel. Well, she must have had an emergency. She's just horrified. So we had to find a place to pull over, and Bob had to gone back in there and tried to find where it was at. Of course, she's right there where we're trying to get into, and I could smell it outside even with the doors closed. So it was a kind of a little bit of deja vu for me, and Michelle will understand this because when she and I made the trip to from Florida to Vegas, when she's moving out, we had her 2 cats. We didn't even want to get out of town, and one of her cats, Marty, had a little poo-poo ass. And so we had to stop in a parking lot at McDonald's, and we're changing a diaper. So anyway, we still have it in here because we just have to throw the big pad that was in the little bed I put in there. And we didn't want to just litter on the road, so we're just about to Needles, and we'll find a garbage can and just dump the whole pad. So that's Callie's embarrassment for the day. It's like traveling with a child. Yeah. So we'll come back on again after a bit. Well, we just got into Needles, California, and the gas here is $6.49. Now, we're not getting gas, but we needed to find a garbage can to throw out the pad from Callie's little bed thing. She is just horrified and embarrassed, especially being I mentioned it on the on this video. Hey, Callie, it's just par for the course. Went through the same thing with Marty. So we're getting on to 95?
Interstate 40.
Interstate 40.
We've been on US 95.
We were on 95, but I was looking at that's the sign I saw was 95. I'm explaining myself to Bobby. Remember a few years back we were coming through here and we stopped at the McDonald's. And that was several years ago now. And they're going to charge $7 for the hamburgers. So needless to say, we didn't get them. Well, now maybe the air will clear up in here. So we don't have to go too far, only maybe about 9 miles on this freeway, and then we take an exit that will be taking us up to 93, 95.
No, you US 95 all the way
95.
from Arizona, all the way from Yuma, all the way up to Boulder. We are on
And
US
that's what I
95.
was referring to was there.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, we're going to be getting off 95 to get back on 95. And we just came down on or up on, so we're heading north. Confusion.
It joins up with Interstate 40 for about 10 or 11 miles.
Yeah, so we're on 40 now, about 10 or 11 miles. Now, if we weren't going up to Vegas, it would make sense for us to continue on this road to Interstate 15 and then take 58 across to Interstate 5. But we're not doing that. Hear the difference in the tires? There we go. This road is kind of like this scraped it, huh?
They're probably going to repave it.
Yeah. So except for Callie's mishap, everything's just been going fine. And that's nothing that's a big deal anyway. I mean, the poor thing had to go, and she didn't know she was going in the car for many hours. So she didn't use her litter box before we left. There were all these trucks changing lanes in front of us. Now on the part of 95 we just got off of, there was a lot of traffic. Mostly semis. When we were going up 95 from Yuma up to Parker, there was very little traffic. Oh, here he comes again in front of us. And normally we would be in the motorhome. We'd have to be Bob would have to really be planning his lane changes. This is a lot easier. So while y'all turn you back off, if I see anything interesting, I'll turn you back on. Believe it or not, we are entering Nevada. We went through a big part of California there for a while. Now we're back in Nevada. This part's nice. We've got 2 lanes each direction. We're away from all the traffic and people passing and us having to pass. Callie's calmed down, yes. Poor little thing's probably having pains in her tummy. She's going to have to learn what her schedule could be for riding in the car. And then, of course, you know, we did think of something we forgot. We had gotten, and I did video on it several weeks back, months ago maybe, on that automatic water feeding thing, you know, that looked like next to our sink that she likes to get into. I unplugged it and everything this morning, and then we forgot it. So I'll have to pick up another one of those when I go shopping with Michelle. And I'm going to try to find one of those real small little litter boxes to put in that cage with her. What's funny is she used the little bed I put in there, which is kind of a roundish bed. And I bet she thought that was where she was supposed to go potty, because it was like, you know, on the sides of a litter box. But she did fine. Accidents happen, you know.
Shit happens.
Huh?
Shit happens.
Yeah, shit happens. Especially in this family, you know. A little bit up here is a rest area. That's the first one you run into when you're heading up to Vegas. Looks like somebody lost their retreads on their tires. Let's pull over. So anyway, this is a really big rest area. So if you're in a motor home or a truck or an RV, you know, any kind of RV, you can easily pull in here and pull, you know, get back on the road either direction. till we get up to 93. Near Boulder. Not Boulder, Colorado, but Boulder City, Nevada. So we'll be coming up to the little town of Searchlight shortly. So I'll come back on when we get to there. We are now coming into the town of Searchlight, and the speed limit is down to 35. And then 25. Now this place is known as a speed trap, and boy, you better do the speed limit because there's always cops around up here. It's a very small little town. I think all of their income is generated from tickets they issue. But people use this place. It's a McDonald's you can see up there, and a gas station, and the gas is only $4.20. What? No, use this place to use the facility, which that's what we're stopping for. It's for Bobby to use the facility, not for Callie. She already did her big business, but yeah, this is a little truck stop too. There's always a lot of cars parked in here because of the fact that, they've got McDonald's, they've got a casino, they've got restrooms. Oh, okay. We see a spot opening up right in the front. So here's where we'll stop, and we will leave the motor running so Callie and I can have the air running. And I think I'm going to switch to me. There I am. Oh, look at the hair. Oh. See, I told you Bob couldn't go the whole way without stopping somewhere. And this is how much of its water he's had, down to about here. I've had a whole thing of soda. And I won't need to go until I get to Vegas, baby. I know, TMI, but what do we talk about? So far this trip's been nice, it gets so boring because it's just nothing to see almost the whole way until you get here to Searchlight. And then there'll be a little bit further, which it's a highway that's every mile or so. It's dedicated to a different war, like veterans of Vietnam War, veterans of World War I, World War II, so it's interesting because all the different signs are for the different wars. Veterans. And of course, my Bobby, he was in the Vietnam War. My dad was in World War II and Korean. Just a little FYI. I'll sure be glad when we get there, though. I hate the drive. When I was younger, I drove my kids everywhere. All these different states, for different hockey tournaments. Back then, I didn't mind driving, but now I just hate it. What a name for a casino. Terribles. See, I try not to use public restrooms if I absolutely don't have to. I always carry my little supplies with me. In case there's no toilet paper or no soap in the dispensers. That'll happen more when we get up into Washington, because that's where once we get back onto I-5, there'll be more of the public restrooms that I'll have to use if I've got to go. I even had toilet seat covers, and I must have left them at home. You know, the paper ones, because I ended up not using them. But now that we're driving back and forth, I may end up having to use them. Well, here he comes. Okay, I'm going to switch you back around so you can see the road when we get out. Okay, here we go. Now, at this off-brand gas station, the gas is $4.49. That's not bad, you know. I mean, back in California, it was $6.69, whatever it was. That's gonna be. You can see it's just a little town. Del Rey Motel. Old buildings up on the left side of the hill. Nobody's speeding through, or if they do, they'll get reminded of. I don't see any cops yet, though. There's a Denny's and a casino adjacent to it. And right here is where we start gaining speed again. We're going from 25 up to 35. And we're getting out of town. Made it through without getting a ticket. Wow. Anytime anybody hears you're going down this highway, people will say, oh, if you go through Searchlight, make sure you do the speed limit. Now we're getting up to 45. See, it's still cloudy out, but it's hot. Kind of a muggy hot. This is a pretty mountain up here to our left. And we are just about to the highway. We are heading down into the Vegas area. Distance, it's not the clearest day. So you can see Vegas down there. Excuse me. We are getting off right here on Interstate 215. And then we'll go up to our hotel.